Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is In The Game Kaya. Alongside me, my brother, Super Shadow 515, who wasn't with me last year when I did, admittedly, a video I probably shouldn't have done given my experience. I kind of broke down what I thought would happen with 2K19, as well as my opinions on recent 2Ks, but something is different this year because while previously I was mostly a Play Now and My League player, I spent over 2,000 hours playing the game this year, and I now have several hours of experience in the park. I was on my way to Pro 3 before I took this break. I'm not quite a Pro 3 in the park, and my brother is a Pro 3, almost an Elite 1, probably would be an Elite 1 if not for the break that we've been on. For various reasons, but anyway, why don't you say hi?
What's up, everybody? Yes, I am actually here this time.
Yeah. Okay. So what were your thoughts on 2K19 now that it's pretty much over at this point? Like, how did it make you feel?
Overall, I was actually quite impressed with 2K19 in the early stages. I thought that they had made some good improvements from previous 2Ks, and this is just talking about gameplay. I thought it felt pretty good, but this was also before I really dug into the finer points of it after hours and hours of playing in the park, where people will use and abuse every little thing about the game.
Yeah, really, when you play in the park, this is something that I had isolated myself from because I never played park, ever. I just had no desire
Until this year, we had nobody to play with.
Yeah, well,
so
I'm not much of a My Career guy anyway. Still
that's
I'm not a My Career guy.
But I am, but, that's me. That's not you.
Yeah, but getting this much experience with 2K and realizing just how much can be exploited in the game kind of changes your perspective on things.
Right, and it helps you to see really what the flaws in the game are.
Yeah, like last year I mentioned, now 2K17 is still terrible, okay? But playing so much 2K19 this year has changed my opinion on 2K18. I used to say that 2K18 was at least decent, if not a good 2K, and that most people were overreacting. Now that I have seen things get exploited, and I know how bad things like what are they called, blow-bys and the snatchback animation, things like that get so busted, and everybody could do them, that it was just like, ugh. If you play offline and you decide not to try to not abuse those things, then that's one thing. But if you're playing online and everybody is doing it, I imagine it gets frustrating really fast.
Yes, and in 2K19, there were similar things that could be abused. L2 cheese.
Stretch bigs.
Stretch bigs early in the game specifically. They were
shoving.
Yeah, shoving was absolutely terrible.
Okay, I will say this about shoving. I want them to bring shoving back in 2K20, but it should be a foul every single time.
Right.
Because there are times you play against a guy who's just giving you nothing but crap all game, and it's just like, get out of my way, and just shove him out of the way. Yes, it's a foul, but can we just do that?
That's one thing that I didn't understand, how sometimes a shove is a foul and sometimes it isn't. I did not understand that.
Well, it's the park. The reason shoving wasn't a foul every time, although it is in the NBA. If you play My Career, you can shove in My Career too, but it was a foul every time. But that's because the park has lower foul sliders. So you can go up for a shot, get fouled, and have no foul called because the sliders are so low. But that's the park. A couple of other things we want to touch on. First, lockdowns, which you actually had a lockdown this year.
Yes, I got all the way up to a 94 overall pure lockdown, what we call the ultimate defense build, 6'10", small forward, pure lockdown defender. And
max wingspan. And you can just splash threes. You have to be in the corner, but you can shoot like 80% on your 3-point shots.
Yeah.
Which is beyond stupid because your 3-point rating is in the 50s, high 50s.
Currently, which I believe my next cap breaker would get me another tick of 3-point shot, but currently it's a 58 with a bronze corner specialist and a jump shot boost.
Yeah, well, when I use my point forward with that Hall of Fame dimer to kick to you in the corner, that helps too, I'm sure. But still, with the 58 jump shot, you shouldn't be making even half of your threes, and you're making like 3/4.
Well, I understand why you bring up the lockdown, but there are much more egregious cases of this when you're talking about 3-point shooting and how overpowered it can be in 2K.
Glass cleaners. 7'3" max wingspan.
Has a 3-point shot rating of 54 without a corner specialist badge, which makes a big difference, I might add. And they will go out there and hit half of their threes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we started playing, it was like, wait, why are you shooting that? That's a terrible shot. Because just knowing basketball and thinking, okay, can we kick the ball around the perimeter and stop shooting? And then I started seeing so many of them go in. I'm like, yeah, I was the guy that would sit under the rim and let the slasher shoot, because he's a slasher. He's got max wingspan.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he hit that shot?
The difference is, specifically for lockdowns and slashers, they have corner specialist badges, and playmakers do as well. But playmakers are naturally better shooters than that.
I don't think it's the corner specialist badge fault though, for making 3-point shooting broken, specifically on those builds.
No.
But it's
the floor is too high.
The floor is too high, and that's saying that to be a good 3-point shooter, all it takes is about a 55, 56 3-point shot rating, and then you're a good 3-point shooter. That is all it takes.
See, one thing that made quite the difference playing against all of those big men, those glass cleaners and athletic finishers and whatnot that were shooting threes, they were doing two things. One, most of them were spotting up in the corner, which even though they don't have a corner specialist badge, that still helps. And two, they had a playmaker kicking them the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Now you assume all of them that are going to be shooting those are running jump shot boosts. Now basically the only thing that's dropping that shooting ability from my lockdown or a slasher or whatever is the corner specialist badge.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. That is the only difference.
Another thing about the lockdown is that you can do literally whatever you want on offense.
Mm-hmm.
You have, what's your ball control?
My ball control is around a 60, I think.
And you can do momentum behind the backs.
I can do momentum behind the backs.
We have run lineups with you at point guard.
It's a terrible idea, but yes.
We run 2 centers in his lock at point guard, and we have been able to, because he can still handle the ball. Now, part of that is just knowing how to protect the ball.
Right.
Because you're not making fancy dribble moves or anything. But you can do anything you want on offense. You just shoot threes. You can kick the ball around. Play a little bit of ball handling, although it's not ideal. And you're actually a really good slasher, too. Because you're just so sneaking strong and long.
It's a 75 layup ability, 75 dunk ability. Both of those are boosted with layup dunk boosts. And I get a silver posterizer and I think bronze relentless finisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, jump shot boosts, layup dunk boosts, they definitely don't help. But what I have learned in shooting around and getting used to jump shots is to try a few different. I've been experimenting with jump shots, trying a few different ones out. And I have several big men. I have one stretch big, and I don't use them very often.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have
You know why you don't use them very often? Because you made a 7-3 pure stretch 5.
Yep. It's not a great build, but I use my different big men and I'll test these jump shots, and without jump shot boosts, my 2-way athletic finisher, which is my go-to big man, is capable of hitting, like almost half of his threes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not right. I mean, I think his 3-point rating is somewhere around 50.
It's probably 52 to 54.
It's not good. That's a terrible 3-point shot rating. I shouldn't be able to hit half of my threes.
At that point...
My post scorer can hit more than half of his threes.
Right. At that point, you should be able to shoot about 1 out of 4, maybe.
Yeah, if you get dimed 1 out of 4, otherwise more like 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6, where it's like, okay, he hit 1, we'll take it. But you can afford to leave him
Yeah,
open on the
that's the
line.
thing that has happened with the 3-point shooting in 2K19. You cannot leave a man open.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter the build. You cannot leave that man open.
And I don't know if it was like this in other 2Ks because I never played them online. I know 2K17 had speed boosting sharps, and 2K18 had snatchbacks and blowbys, but
And then you go back to previous 2Ks where you can literally build a player however you want, like 2K15, 2K16, and you could have big men that are out there splashing threes and handling the ball like point guards.
yeah, I know people kind of want that system back where you can build these really powerful players that are like superstars
Right.
and are closer to true 99 overalls and not the fake 99 overalls that you get.
Where you're actually like a 93.
But the archetype, say what you will about the archetype system, it does encourage diversity of playstyle.
Not only diversity, but I believe it also encourages balance. To a certain extent.
Yeah, well, when everyone can do everything, then the game is balanced.
Yes, but it kind of takes away from the idea of the diversity of what you were talking about. Anyways, yes.
I do think the archetype system has its merits. It's not perfect.
No, it's
It
far
has,
from perfect.
It has flaws. But anyways, I think we covered the lockdown. I'll talk about the other really broken build in the game because I would talk about stretch fours, but they're not broken anymore. And I actually
They
like
were-
playing against stretch fours now.
Yeah. Well, I really like playing against stretch fours because I'm a lockdown.
Yeah.
My favorite, and other lockdowns out there that might be listening to this video, they will probably agree with me. My favorite is when you get a sharpshooter that thinks they can shoot over you. And so you get red contest after red contest.
You're building your takeover meter because they're stupid.
And you're just sitting there laughing at them.
You fool!
But anyways, I don't really think a lockdown is really broken. Because you have...
It's one of the best builds in the game.
It is, but I don't think it's really broken. You have to know how to use it for it to be a really amazing build.
That's true for a lot of builds, though.
That's
like
true,
playmakers.
Yeah.
Playmaker, if you have a low-level playmaker, it feels like a terrible build because
Mhm.
you're going to have trouble hitting your shots,
Yeah.
getting to the rim.
But like what you said about, my lockdown can do basically anything on offense, that is true. Because I put, hundreds of hours into practice with him, and I know how to work for my spots and to, what I can hit and what I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Low-level lockdowns, all they can do is just play cheesy defense.
Spam square. Or X, depending on what console you're playing on. We play on PS4,
Right.
so...
So,
I also play on PC, but, that's mostly for mods.
yeah. But anyways, I don't really think the lockdown is truly a broken build. The only thing that you
It
could
needs
say...
to be less effective.
The only
to
thing that
truly
you
be
could
balanced.
say that could be broken about it is the ability to sometimes just walk up to people and take the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that can kind of be broken about it.
I think no square steals... They're kind of fun when you're on the receiving end of those, but as a point forward with literally perfect passing attributes, I will not pass to someone who's being guarded by a primary defender because I'm afraid that ball is going to get picked off.
Well, here's the
even
thing.
when they have an edge, I don't really look that way.
The only time you're going to get no square or no X steals, just where the AI automatically picks it off for you, is really not a great pass.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't be throwing that in the first place if you're going to be getting those.
Is that really? It's not any kind of skill that gives you that.
No,
benefit,
my
though.
best guess would be Quick Reflexes badge, which lockdowns get Hall of Fame. And at that point, that's basically what it is a reflex. The player would just, reach up and grab the ball to protect his face.
Now, to be fair, a really high-level defender would be able to play passing lanes like that.
Right.
If you put it within reach of them, especially you have this, really long, lanky wingspan
Right.
that you basically drag your knuckles on the ground and you're walking around.
6'10", probably a 7'1", 7'2" wingspan.
It's max
somewhere around
wingspan.
there. Yeah, whatever max wingspan is. But anyways, we've probably talked enough about lockdowns now.
The post scorer
Yes.
was another really powerful build, and initially you didn't see many of them because anyone who wanted to be a big, especially if they were a power forward or something, they were
They'd be
stretch.
big. Yeah.
They're stretch big. And you saw some rim protectors. Glass cleaners were really popular,
especially
when
early
shoving
on.
was still in the
Yes,
game.
especially early on. The go-to methods.
It was like play sharp. It was like play sharp, and then it would be stretch 4 at wing, and then a pure glass to set Hall of Fame brick wall screens and shove people.
Right.
You get that. I think it's a 99 strength as a glass cleaner. It's really high.
It might be 95.
But you're 7'3". You're really wide. You get
7'3", 290 pounds. Hall of Fame brick wall.
Okay, I mean, small detour, because I know we're not really on post scores yet, but small detour before we get there. Screen setting in 2K needs to be tweaked.
Right, the body up sensitivity is too high. Getting pulled around screens.
It's not just the body up. It's the fact that when you hit a screen, you'll get pulled all the way around the screen and start going the wrong way. You're not even holding your stick in that direction to move that way. Your player just stumbles around the screen and starts running in the wrong direction.
Right. Or
you barely brush the screen and you get pulled all the way around it, the wrong way around. Can we not do that anymore? Please? I shouldn't have to have a Hall of Fame pick dodger to move around on defense. And that's one thing that I love having, because I have a defender too. I have a like an 85 overall, 86 overall shot creating defender that I run at the point when we want to go defensively heavy. And I love being able to slide around picks that people set because they think they can just cheat, especially sharpshooters. Some sharps are so used to having high level screens set for them that the moment, and we play with a sharp ourselves, so we know a guy that'll do this sometimes. He'll come around the screen and just immediately shoot the second he gets to the other side of that screen, hoping that expecting the screen to just carry the other person out of the play.
But that's because most of the time, point guards and shooting guards, the guards in the lineup, the sharpshooters, are not facing defensive builds. So those defensive builds are naturally going to be better at getting around better at getting around screens between having a high-level pick dodger badge and a higher lateral quickness.
Mm-hmm. So that needs to be tweaked. If I'm holding the stick to the right and I barely graze the back end of the screen setter, I shouldn't get pulled all the way around and start going left. That makes no sense. Should I get slowed down? Sure.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, you should get slowed down. Might I stumble coming off the screen? Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, especially off of a brick wall.
Yeah, but I shouldn't get pulled going any kind of significantly wrong direction. Deflected direction, where I'm going right and I end up going right and slightly towards the baseline. That's probably fine too. But it's not. It shouldn't be that hard to tweak. It just needs tweaked.
Right. So now let's shift to post scorers.
Post scorers aren't terribly broken. They're more like a lockdown in their ability to score. But this is the offensive side of the ball now. So they're kind of like a lockdown where they can just they have a good mid-range shot. They're better 3-point shooters than other big men, but they're still not great 3-point shooters on their own. And their post moves are good. It's easy to get open, but you're not going to hit every single post shot, especially if you work out of the high post from that 12 to 16 range.
Specifically post fades or hop shots, stuff like that is not going to go in very often.
And hop shots without takeover aren't great shots unless you're around the rim.
Right.
Even as a pure post. But post speed boosting and then hook shots are pretty good. I use a lot of hook shots.
Right, I do too whenever I use a post scorer.
Even when I'm not a post scorer, like my athletic finisher uses a lot of post. If I can't quite get around my man, I'll just kind of put up a post hook. I haven't been saying hook this whole time. I just keep saying post.
Put up a post.
I'm just gonna put up a post.
Apparently, we're on the internet now.
I'm on a forum. Anyway, so yeah, especially being a big man, I play a lot of post scorers, and I don't run into many of them. Now, we run mostly park. I mean, almost exclusively park. We play a little bit of rec and a little bit of cages, but it's almost all on the playground.
And I don't think I've ever even stepped in the Pro-Am building.
I did once. It was a mistake. I didn't actually play the game. I did not want to go to Pro-Am. I don't remember how I ended up in there.
You probably just ran to the wrong building.
It was early on. I have no idea what I was doing. I can't remember how I ended up in there, but I didn't play the game. I just quit.
Anyways, yes, we usually run in the park. And in the park, you run into some post scorers, but normally what you run into for big men is glass cleaners.
Mm-hmm. Glass cleaners, rim protectors, quite a bit. I see a lot more power forward rim protectors than I do actual true
that's because
center rim protectors.
power forward rim
power
protectors
forwards are more maneuverable.
They're more maneuverable, yeah. And they're a little bit closer to the straight up lockdown defender wing like I have, while still being big enough to guard centers.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've had several large centers, 7'3", max weight centers, and you know how difficult it can be to keep up with some of the smaller power forwards or shorter centers.
Yeah.
Because they're just, 20 points faster than you on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing about the power forward rim protector. He will be able to keep up with stretches, with other, slashing bigs.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be able to keep up with them, and he still has the strength and defensive ability to stop the really big defenders.
Yeah.
Or big offensive players.
But once post scorers get takeover, now athletic finishers can be this way too, to a certain extent. But it's not as, their ability to take over is not as varied as the post scorer. The post scorer will green almost every fade or hook.
Right.
They can hit hop shots from anywhere that's within the 3-point arc.
Right.
So if you hop
even
out,
NBA 3-point arc.
if you hop out towards the 3-point line and fade away, so that by the time you shoot the ball, you're basically past the 3-point line.
You can still green that.
You'll green it more often than you miss it. You'll green it way more often than you miss it, which makes it a quality shot. It's virtually undefendable.
Right.
Post spins, you literally just shove the guy behind you, and he stumbles in the wrong direction away from the play.
Right. It doesn't matter who the defender is. It doesn't matter who the post scorer is. Even if you're a post scoring guard, if you get takeover, you can shove any defender out of the way.
Yeah, even lockdowns.
Even lockdowns.
And then you get close to the rim, post up, and then you can drop step around people. It's
right.
guaranteed to get you all the way around them as you put your elbow into the side of their neck and shove them away.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like a foul at all.
And then once you get to the rim, you're basically guaranteed to either lay it up or dunk it and green it. Yeah, you can't green dunks, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're basically guaranteed a shot at that point.
And so, yeah, athletic finishers, if you face up towards the rim and you're really close, you can just put the ball in somebody else's chest, shove them away, and then either lay it up or dunk it. And that's a good quality shot too. But you can't use post spins to get around. You can't use hop shots to fade away.
Right.
You don't have the same tool set that the post scorer gets. Pretty much once the post scorer gets takeover, and we play another friend of ours, not the sharpshooter, different guy, uses a primary post scorer, and he's only recently started to figure out just how broken post scorer takeover is. And you just kick him the ball when he gets his takeover, and you just score every time. You don't need complex moves. You don't need to speed boost in the post. You don't need to do some kind of pump fake Hakeem Olajuwon looking shake fade from 12 feet away. You can just step underneath of the rim, drop step, dunk.
Or post up a guy in the mid post and spin off of him and get an easy dunk.
Mm-hmm. And in the park, you can't help. You know, the other guy can't help off, even if he's playing a slasher or whatever, because
right.
that guy's going to hit his 3-point shot.
Right.
Post scorers get dimers.
Right.
So it's even more of a good shot than it would be normally. And I guarantee you, everybody's running with jump shot boosts. Everybody.
All the high-level smart players.
Anyone that's not like an amateur 2 or lower is probably running with jump shot boosts in every single game. Even if that's the only thing they boost. They're running jump shot boosts in every game so that they can hit their threes.
Right.
And I would say that because of that, sharpshooters are not as valuable, but that's not really true. Sharpshooters still have a lot of value because they can hit tough threes, and they're not going to miss. Because other builds will, like even your lockdown, as good as you are at hitting your threes,
You will occasionally
miss. And you run with constant jump shot boosts.
I run with constant all boosts now.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's not cheap.
No, it is definitely not cheap.
Can we take away the boost system, please? I just want to play straight up. And that would fix so many of the problems of things.
That
just
is fair.
Take away the boost.
Taking away...
We already know that the boost system is coming back because if you buy the digital deluxe version or the Dwayne Wade version of the 2K20, you're going to get free boosts.
You're getting, I think it's like 10 free boosts in each category.
So you know that boosts are coming back.
Right.
But,
taking away boosts would fix every build being able to shoot.
Not quite. It wouldn't be nearly as bad as it is, but it wouldn't.
Imagine a player like a pure rim protector, max height, max weight, max wingspan, pure rim protector with a 3-point shot of 52, standing in the corner without a jump shot boosts. Now, how good is that shot?
1 out of 3, probably.
1 out of 3, probably more like 1 out of 4. But that's all we've done is just take away boosts.
Mm-hmm.
You throw a boost on that, he's making 1 out of 2. Every other one.
And then if he gets dimed, it's more than 50% of a shot.
Right. It's more like 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4, or 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, somewhere in that range.
Yep. Which it's broken. It needs to be fixed. There's not a whole lot that we know about 2K20 yet. We know there's going to be new badges. There's going to be tweaks to the animation system. We know that there's going to be WNBA. We don't know if you're going to be able to build female players. At least I don't think we know that yet. They're still leaking information. They're still letting out information slowly but surely. So I'm just going to kind of give a more generalized take on where I think 2K20 will go. If I had to guess, I think lockdowns will be about the same. Post scores will get nerfed significantly. I think broken takeover things will get patched. So things like the athletic finisher being able to push people out of the way, the post scorer just shoving people around with their takeover animations. I think those will get...
Certain things I understand that they're still there. Like, for example, glass cleaners. And you can do this without takeover with a glass cleaner. Just kind of shoving off of somebody to grab a rebound. That I understand because there's some of that happens naturally in the NBA between high-level rebounders.
Mm-hmm.
But, having a pure glass cleaner get the ball on offense and then you just shove a guy out of the way with the ball and then rise up and dunk it. That makes no sense.
Why does the glass cleaner get that animation? I mean, only high-level glass cleaners get that animation, but still...
It's probably requiring a certain level of inside finishing ability. And that's why only high-level glass cleaners will do it.
Yeah, because you have a glass cleaner. And
I do have a glass cleaner.
Over, your glass cleaner doesn't get that animation.
You don't shove.
But then
I have shoved before, but he doesn't do it consistently.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think builds... I don't think stretch 4s will be any good this year.
What do you think? Are they going to overbalance it?
Well, stretch 4s shouldn't be a good build by default. It's the concept of the build that makes them good instead of the build itself.
Stretching the floor.
It's stretching the floor and forcing what might be a rim protector or glass cleaner to play away from the rim and open up the offense and rebounding ability for your other teammates. And then when he helps off to get a rebound...
Or to play interior defense, they can kick out to the stretch big, and there is an open 3 that's most likely good.
And that's why I built the stretch 5, because at the time we were thinking we'd play more rec. And in rec, I thought that kind of thing would be invaluable.
Especially having a player more like my rebounding athletic finisher power forward to play next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I can grab the rebounds because you're dragging the big man out of the paint.
Yeah. I don't expect 2K20 to actually change too much. Just less broken takeover animations, more badges, which means more grinding. Yay. Hopefully my points won't be as demanding. I think they're gonna.
I definitely hope.
I think they're gonna tweak the my player progression system and or archetype system, but I can't. They haven't really released any details on that yet. I probably won't make a video about it because I don't think it will be necessary unless it's something really big or really impactful. But the demo's coming out in 9 days. It's the 12th. So the demo's coming out in 9 days. And we'll get a chance to see what player building is like then. And if there's anything I see that's big and groundbreaking or game breaking in the demo, then I'll make a video about it. Otherwise, this is probably just these are my thoughts on 2K19 mostly, as well as kind of what I expect for 2K20. Do you have anything you want to say before we wrap up?
One thing I am definitely looking forward to for 2K20 is the new badge system. Because specifically talking about the focus on the rebounding badges, and you and I have had this conversation plenty off air, obviously.
Yeah, we talk 2K all the time.
But having the different, not only rebounding badges between Rebound Chaser and I don't know what it's called, the just straight up rebounding badge. Is it still Hustle Rebounder?
No, they split Hustle Rebounder. It's Rebound Chaser tracks down long rebounds, the worm gets around box outs, and the box is more effective at stopping worms.
So there isn't one for just grabbing rebounds over other people?
Not really. At least they haven't released that specific badge
But anyways,
information yet.
specifically with like the Rebound Chaser is something that everybody that has played as a big man and has tried to grind Hustle Rebounder in team practice knows the problem with long rebounds. And I especially think that the worm and box badges will be very useful.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm tired of getting boxed out by, point guards and shooting guards that happen to slide in front of me before I can get to the rim.
Yeah, and splitting badges will make players more diverse. For example, a small slasher, like an Allen Iverson type, will
get the Giant Slayer.
Get Giant Slayer, and they'll be able to finish under the rim using crafty finishes in kind of a Kyrie Irving, Isaiah Thomas kind of fashion.
Right.
Whereas someone who's bigger and longer, like a small forward, is going to power through people.
Relentless finisher.
Put the ball up over people,
Posterizer, or whatever it's called for finishing at the rim.
Mm-hmm.
Contact finishing, something like that. But yeah, I really think the changes to the badge system, as long as they are smart about what builds get what badges, and about, how many badges to give out, I would say. Because the last thing you want is to just start handing out badges to every single player.
Mm-hmm.
And now, again, you run into the problem of every build can do everything. So as long as they balance the badges properly, I think it'll be very good for the player building system.
Yeah, I agree. But, so I have to ask, did you think 2K19 was a good 2K?
Personally, I did. I did think 2K19 do think 2K19 is a good 2K.
It's not one of the best 2Ks.
No.
But it is a good 2K. Especially
I will say
after...
I am one of those guys that when I saw the I Still Play NBA 2K11 shirt in the shop in Swags, I went and bought one. I am one of those guys. Especially since 2K11 was my first 2K. Yeah. I just love it to death.
And considering how much time we spent on things like 2K at the time, we played that game to death. Yeah. Only 80, 90 hours doesn't seem like much after spending 2,000 on 2K19. But for the time, considering what we were playing and how often we were playing, especially sports games, to spend that long playing basketball, 2K11 is one of the reasons I fell in love with basketball.
Right.
So, that...
So yeah, 2K11 will always hold a special place to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think 2K19 is probably my favorite 2K since 2K15. But, that's just me. I played a lot of 2K15 as well.
I didn't like 2K15. I think I've told you that.
Yes.
I can't stand 2K15. I did like 2K16. I played a lot of 2K16. I had issues with it. I thought, now I'm better now, so I could probably go back and not have the same problems. But defense, I thought, was a little too intense, and players just dropping the ball, which still happens and is annoying, although you kind of learn to work around it. I did really like 2K16 though, and I thought they did a pretty good job with 2K16. 2K16 looks nicer than 2K19 too. Hopefully 2K20 graphically improves a little bit. I think the screenshots we've been seeing, I don't know if you've seen any of them. But
I've seen some.
I think they're probably rendered on the Xbox One X version of the game. So it's hard to tell exactly what's changed, what will look different, what will look nicer.
Because that will be the highest quality they're going to get for their in-game footage.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that wraps it up. I did think 2K19 was decent, and I'm looking forward to 2K20. I'm expecting to play the demo and enjoy the demo, and we will see. I hope I don't have to go back to 2K19 because 2K20 has something that's game-breaking, stupid, and I don't want to play it.
At this point, I'd say probably not going to happen. Something that's completely great, game-breaking, that's going to tell you
at launch there will be a build that is bar none better than everything else because of one specific thing, and everybody will use that. Stretch fours.
A hint for you guys?
Until it gets patched.
Yeah. Wait for it to get patched. If you're going to jump on it, that's fine. Just expect it to get patched if it's really broken. So
Yeah,
don't bank on that being your build for long term.
Yeah, like I built the point forward just for playing against stretch fours. Because we were playing so many stretch fours, I wanted a player who was taller so he could guard them, and a player who was faster so he could get around them, and could dribble so he could break them down. All of those things.
Point forward.
Yeah. And it worked really well. I actually really enjoy that build. I mean, it's not great, but it's a good build. I like it. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed 2K19. If not, maybe 2K20 will change your mind. Also, don't spend money on microtransactions. Don't be that guy. We don't want to be that guy. I was that guy. It hurts. Don't be that guy.
It hurts a lot. I was also that guy.
I've never been a guy for microtransactions, so I didn't realize how much it was adding up until it was too late. It was more than I spent on my console I play it on is what I spent on 2K19. I'll just leave it at that. So, yeah, don't be that guy.
So, thank you for putting up with our ramblings about 2K.
And we will see you later. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how we can improve this discussion, maybe by streamlining it a bit. We are almost 40 minutes in. And subscribe for more sports game-related content and a little bit of real-world sports content as well. I don't cover it a lot, but I do cover it a little bit between the NBA and the NFL. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.